implement it. So far, it has been frustrating for them because they have not been able to find anything. In fact, what they have resorted to doing in the last 2 weeks is to be calling lower level people and some of my officials and saying, implicate Nasir El-Rufai and your problems will go away. This is what the ICPC has become. The EFCC is far more professional. They have, done a much better job of it. And now that we have seen that the whole thing is a charade, we are going to start fighting back. Right. Okay, Charles. I've been in public service for a long time. I was advisor to Abdulsalam Abubakar. I've been DG of BPE. I've been Minister of FCT and Governor of Kaduna State. I swear to you, I swear to God, I have never in my life taken a penny that I'm not entitled to. In fact, in Kaduna State, in my first term of office, because we took a vow along with my late deputy governor that we'll be donating 50% of our salaries and allowances back to the state coffers, I did that. I gave my own entitlements to the government, and I have treasury receipts for that.
Right.
I have never taken a penny of it, but somebody wants to destroy my reputation. Why? Nobody wants to be president in 2031.
Well,
he has to eliminate every northerner that he thinks is in the radar. That's what's going on. Now, in 2027, I'm going to consult the same people. We're going to take the same decision, which candidate to support and in which party.
But do you think, because you mentioned here that you were obviously driven by certain principles, one of them being that the presidency had to go to the South. Irrespective of who emerged as the person, it had to be a Southerner. I mean, by that same token, are you going to support a Southern president in 2027?
I cannot say that now.
No, but
no, let me explain.
Following from the logic of your sort of
I'm
argument.
in a different position now.
Right.
In 2023, I was a governor. I was a state governor. And whatever decision we took must reflect the values of Ahmadu Bello, Aminu Kanu, Sakashim Ibrahim, J.S. Taka, our leaders in the north that had a handshake across the Niger with our southern brothers and built trust. That was the duty imposed on me as a governor. I was not an ordinary person. I was the representative of late Ahmadu Bello, Aminu Kanu, and so on. These were the values we were pursuing. It was not about personal interest. Now I'm a private citizen, okay? Now I'm not sure I will be in the APC in 2027. So I cannot answer that question. As a private citizen, I can afford to be reckless and say, you know what? We gave the Southerners their chance. They gave us TINiBU. Has he done well? If he hasn't done well by 2027, let's vote him out, okay? I would prefer that a Southerner succeeds TINiBU. But at the end of the day, in the party that I would be, whether it is APC or any other party, the calculation has to be who will win. And as I told you earlier, in Kaduna, when we looked at all the southern aspirants, our caucus said, look, TINiBU has the best chance of winning. Our party must win. Whatever the baggage he comes with, let's manage it after we win. It is the same way these decisions are taken. Now, in 2027, I will not be a governor. So I will not have the sort of clout that I had in 2023. But I'm just explaining this so that people understand that in those smoke-filled rooms where these political decisions are taken, hard political mathematics takes place in which you want to win. And the person that wins is the one that you go for. It doesn't matter where he comes from. It's the person that you think will win because your party should win the election. So I cannot answer that question now. It's a question that we'll have to look going forward.
Right. Okay, but let's assess the political temperature in this country from the northern perspective. We've read many times, we've had people sit where you're sitting from the north, the Northern League, different people from the north who express dissatisfaction with President TINiBU, particularly over appointments. What is your position on that?
I agree with them. I think that President TINiBU's appointments are quite imbalanced. But unlike others that think, oh, the appointments are skewed towards Southwest, no. Please, don't blame the Southwest for what one individual is doing, okay? As a Northerner and someone that lived half of his life under military rule, we have suffered that. The military takes power, they do things, the head of state is a Northerner, he messes up, every Northerner is blamed. No. Yorubas are very honorable people, okay? But there's a difference even in Yoruba land between an Omoluabi, okay, who is the ideal Yoruba person with morals and character, and an area boy, okay? So I want people to stop saying it's Southwest. Look, President TINiBU is appointing his own boys. Not because they are Yoruba, but because they are his own boys. And most of the appointments do not even reasonably cover the Southwest. Okay, so people should stop confusing the two. The appointments are not balanced. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Right.
You cannot argue that. But it's not a Yoruba thing. Please don't punish the Yorubas as you have been punishing Northerners for the sins of the military. Okay? Let's focus on individuals and hold them accountable. President TINiBU needs to do something about that. It's still not too late, he can correct it, but there is palpable anger in the north, and all the people around him, all those telling him that everything is quiet, they cannot go to the north and say vote for APC or vote for TINiBU today. But it's 2 years to the elections, it's not too late to correct things, and he knows. I have passed this message through many of those close to him. I hope they have the guts to tell him. Thank you, Charles.
The last time we met was in the same studio, almost 2 years ago, when you were my guest on this program. So let me start by wishing you a happy new year and a very happy birthday, which you marked recently.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And let me start with a simple opening question, because you said when you were last here, and at the time Bola TINiBU was a presidential candidate, that you were solidly backing his candidacy, and you held him aloft during the election and worked hard to secure his victory. And for the first couple of months of his presidency, you appeared to still give him unqualified support. Have the tables turned since then? Is your solidarity and support still to be counted on?
It's a difficult question to answer, Charles. I am a founding member of the APC, and I'm still a member of the APC. But I have concerns about how the party is being run or not being run at all. And I've expressed those concerns. I've expressed those concerns because I feel that, like a father who has given birth to a child, I know the investment and efforts and the compromises we had to strike to create what is now known as the APC, and how many people sacrificed a lot to ensure that it was an internally democratic party with progressive ideals. And 2 years after the election of President TINiBU, none of the party organs is functioning. The progressive ideals, in my view, are not being pursued with any vigor. And the very high expectations we had of the president to take this country to the next level based on his track record in Lagos is somehow not materializing. So I have no issues with the TINiBU administration. People say I'm a critic of the administration. I've never said a word about the TINiBU administration. My comment in a panel on democracy in Nigeria had to do with the APC. I've never, since I left office and the president begged me publicly to come and serve in his government, I had my plans, and I told President TINiBU from day one, when he asked me to support him, I said I would, but I don't want anything, okay? Because politics in Nigeria is always about what do I get for giving you support. I'm not in politics for that reason. I'm not in politics to get anything. I have a surname, I'm a self-made man, I have made my money before coming into public office. I don't need anything. After 8 years in Kaduna, I was nearly burnt out. I was struggling for 8 years and I wanted to take a break, and I had my private plans. The president publicly appealed to me to put my plans on hold, and through 2 months of negotiation, we finally agreed that he would nominate me as minister, and there were certain conditions I attached to that. I think along the line, either the president changed his mind or something else, because please don't believe the story that the National Assembly rejected me. The National Assembly had nothing to do with this. The president didn't want me in his cabinet. He changed his mind. Whatever it is, frankly, I don't care. And I told him, and I moved on. And since I moved on, I've not said a word. I've not granted any interview. I've not commented on the government. But it is within my rights as a founding member of the APC, as one of the 34 people that signed the INEC form that got the party registered. It is within my rights to ask, why is my party not functioning?
Indeed.
And that's all. And so, you know, I don't know if I've answered your question, but...
Well, to some extent you have, but I'm going to press you a little bit more on that, because you suggested that there was, I mean, the impression that we all had was that you were nominated for a ministerial position, but that under serious scrutiny from the National Assembly, you failed to make the grade for security reasons. But you're saying that that was not what turned the tide of your support, that failure to win affirmation in the Senate. You're saying that the president decided that you were no longer going to be in his cabinet.
I believe that. I believe he changed his mind.
What makes you believe that?
What security? What was the security issue? I have been a governor for 8 years in one of the most difficult states in the country. Okay? I have been minister 20 years earlier. I've been in public life in the last 25, 26 years. What is the security issue? Where is the report? What about other ministers far less qualified, far less experienced, with huge controversies around them that scaled through because the president made a call? So please leave that aside. I don't want to focus too much on that.
Right.
The president is a human being. He is entitled to change his mind. And it's not an issue. And it is a job I didn't want in the first place. So the slightest opportunity I had, the security thing was a good thing for me because it enabled me to say, Mr. President, I'm gone. And I went on with my life. Now, since then, has anyone released that report? What is the security issue? What is this? What is that? Leave that. The only reason why I'm talking about this, Charles, is because anytime I make any comment about how the party is running or not running, or I visit a friend of mine, TINiBU's hacks go on, oh, it's because he didn't get a ministerial nomination. Guys, I was minister 20 years ago, all right, in my 40s, and I told TINiBU I did not want to be minister. I was not interested. He appealed to me, begged me, and gave me a challenge. What was the challenge? Nobody has sorted out electricity. No president has defeated the electricity mafia. You and I can work to defeat it. It was the challenge that made me accept. All right? Now, I had an opportunity to serve my country, and the person that gave me the opportunity changed his mind. It's okay. And I've moved on with my life.
But I mean, have you encountered him subsequently? Have you met him? Have you, both of you, since that time?
We have met.
Did it ever come up in your discussion?
We have met, and we have met a couple of times. But, you know, we have met at Baba Akande's birthday anniversary last year, and the president asked me to come and see him. I met him once, we discussed, and, you know, let's find ways. I said, Mr. President, I don't have any problem. I'm fine.
Now, when you say, what did he say to you?
He said, you know, we still have to find a way to work together. I said, I'm waiting. You know, you tell me how we can work together, but I want to assure you, as I told you even before the elections, I am fine. I have a private life which predates politics, and I'm pursuing my life. Look at me. Do I look like I'm stressed? I have I have put on weight, I sleep better, I don't have to read security reports